Greetings, my fellow Helldivers. It is I, the Chicken Man. First things first, Polar Patriot WARBOND. Should you get it? And to that, I must say, if you don't have your other WARBONDs completed yet, do those first. Specifically cutting edge, at least all the primaries that it offers you they're actually good. Polar Patriots? Yeah, it's just not the case. I've been seeing a recurring comment in a lot of people's videos already that all of these weapons come pre-nerfed, so they don't have to you after you already bought it. It's just, you're already getting Now, using my super secret farming techniques, I was able to get enough medals this morning to be able to buy everything, to try out everything, so I can tell each and every single one of you how unbelievably mid this WARBOND is. Now, the armors, they don't really have any new perks. It's the same perks that we know and love. It's just cosmetically, they look pretty cool. So the only thing we're going to be focusing on in this video is the weapons. Starting out with the Tenderizer. Now, what I think was supposed to be a side grade to the stock Liberator ends up feeling like a downgrade. Yes, I understand that the recoil is better with the Tenderizer, but it feels like it's missing that little extra oomph. Especially when fighting up against the bugs. Like, I don't know what it is, but while the weapon itself handles well, while it shoots good, it just doesn't quite feel that good. Now, up against the bots, it definitely felt a little bit better to me, mainly because, you know, you can actually shoot bots in the head, and they'll usually go down in a couple of bullets, which is where the non-existent recoil is very nice to have, especially if you can't aim, like myself. Spraying and praying for bot heads is pretty simple. Even though the other ARs are definitely better than the Tenderizer, you can still get the job done, nonetheless, my friends. As far as potential ideas to help this bad boy out, maybe a little bit of a increased magazine size, maybe a faster reload, because it feels like I am mailing a postcard by carrier pigeon. It just does not, it just does not feel good. Moving on from the AR, I would like to discuss the SMG-72 Pummeler. So similar to the Defender, yes, is an SMG. Looks pretty similar. Instead of firing regular bullets, it fires concussive rounds. Yes, you are sacrificing a little bit of damage in order to be able to stun lock the bad guys. It works decently against Terminids and automatons both. I feel like you might see a lot more people picking this gun over the actual Defender itself due to its stunning qualities. Me personally, I'm taking this as an opportunity to get revenge on all of those pesky shield devastators, on all of those pesky rocket devastators, just the Devastator family in general. You shoot them with your concussive rounds, they're going to be tripping over their own feet, they're not going to be able to really do too much about it. Obviously, it goes without saying, it matches up well with the ballistic shield, and if you're playing with teammates. See, you can keep the guys that are trying to, you know, one-shot you with rockets from across the map or use their nonsensical perfect laser aim LMG. You can keep those guys from murdering you. Now, I know there's the argument of being like, oh, you could just use a regular Defender and kill them faster, chicken. And to that, I say, fair enough, but this gun is actually fun. It has its own special little use, and it doesn't feel bad to shoot it. Out of the 3 primary weapons that were added with this WARBOND, I can say easily this is probably the best one. But I guess that's not really too hard to say compared to what we just went over and we're about to go over. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to the PLAS-101 Purifier. This thing is a scorcher if you wanted to take extra time in between shots. The scorcher literally does everything that this weapon does, but better. You have to manually charge up every single shot with the Purifier. So by the time that you charge up 1 Purifier shot, you could have already fired off like 3 Scorcher shots. Even though the Purifier is supposed to have like a little bit of a blast rate, it's supposed to be explosive, it's supposed to be comparable to like the Punisher Plasma, it's more comparable to Scorcher because that shockwave, for the amount of charge that it takes for you to shoot each individual shot, it just doesn't really feel worth it. Yes, the blast radius looks like it's big, but I don't know, man. It doesn't feel as big as it looks. And that's what she said. Like, it wants to be like this weird hybrid between a Punisher Plasma railgun and a Scorcher. I can see the vision here, but the execution is definitely lacking. Maybe if it did more damage and had a slightly bigger blast radius to justify the charge time, I think that would be a step in the right direction. And once again, it's not like I'm saying this gun is unusable. That's not what I'm saying. It's just comparatively to what else is available, it's lacking. I'm not saying it's impossible to use any of these weapons that I have said aren't the greatest in the world. I'm sure there's going to be solo Helldive videos of people using these not so ideal loadouts and doing just fine. Now, speaking of things that are fine, I want to talk about the last two things that are going to be on our list here today. The new Incendiary grenade and the new sidearm. The P113 Verdict. From what the trailer was leading us to believe, we thought this was going to be like a deagle of some kind. Well, it turns out it's not. The bullets are not that big, they're not that beefy. It is essentially a slightly better, it is just like an upgraded Peacemaker, pretty much. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just not what people were expecting. Now, the impact incendiaries, I'm a fan. I've always been a fan of incendiaries. Even before all the fire buffs, I was usually rocking incendiaries, especially on bug missions whenever there's bug breaches. It is that nice little extra damage. And this sidearm, it's not a redeemer, okay? It's not a senator, but it fits its role well. With 125 damage a shot, you're going to be able to take out things just a little quicker than if you're using a Peacemaker. But, I mean, outside of that, that's really about it. I mean, obviously, it's going to be a little bit better against robots, because, I mean, you know, once again, just tap the head, they'll go down pretty quickly. But that same argument comes up once again. Once you've unlocked better secondaries, why would you just not use the better secondary, you know? But like I said, these are just first impressions. I'm definitely going to delve a little bit deeper into everything. Maybe run some solo Helldives of my own. But as far as new Warbonds go, and if you should pick this one up or not, like I said at the start of the video, if you haven't unlocked the other ones yet, I'd do those first, or at least until they buff the weapons that are inside this one. Or if you're just an absolute slave to fashion, I'm not gonna lie, some of these Arctic armors, yeah, they look pretty cool. As somebody that's coming over from a completely different game, after all, I'm sure you guys know me for Apex content. I almost have like 360 hours in this game. Basically, when I'm not playing Apex, I'm playing Helldivers 2. I really want to see this game succeed. I've pretty much been playing PvP games for the past decade, and to finally swap over to a PvE game that has a really cool community, yeah, it is a breath of fresh air. Especially this past week, the coordination between everybody to review bomb Sony the way that they did, it's nothing short of amazing. But that also goes to show just how much we all like this game. Either we all dive, or none of us dive at all, my fellow Helldivers. But that's enough yapping out of me. I hope I was able to give you enough information for you to be able to make an informed decision whether or not you should spend your hard-earned super credits on a lackluster Warbond. You all know the YouTube game. Like the video if you liked it, dislike if you disliked it, consider subscribing if you're new, enable those notifications, and you'll never miss another chicken Helldiver video ever again. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next one.